Hi everybody, this is Mrs. Baxter, and today we are going to do a quick review of what mean, median, mode, and range are when it comes to statistics. These are some very basic measures of central tendency, so you can see and look at your data a little bit more closely and make some determinations about it. But mostly this is just us reviewing how to solve each of those things, okay? So I know there's another video, like you can look up Khan Academy, or there's the Math Antics gentleman that also teaches this in another way, and it has a lot of more visual explanations of what mean, median, mode are. So if you want to look those up or Google them, go right ahead. All right, so the mean, the other note for that is actually it's called the average. So if somebody says I'm looking for the average, it means the mean. The other way is, remember, this is also, Mrs. Baxter is very mean because I'm going to make you add up all of the numbers in the data set and then divide by the total number of numbers. So it takes the longest to figure out because you have to plug all those numbers into the calculator. So how do you do it or find it? You find the sum, meaning you add up all the numbers. Add all the numbers and divide by the number of numbers. Actually, I'm going to say the number of data points. Okay? And we'll do an example below. Next is the median. This is also known as quartile 2, which we're going to talk about tomorrow. But the median is also, when you think about when you're driving, what is the median? The median is the middle. So we're looking at the middle number. Okay? Now, how do we solve that? The most important thing, foot stomper. This is something when I do a foot stomper in class, you guys know this is something that's really important, all right? It is going to be on your quiz or test. It is the order. Oh, the first thing you do, how to find it, is you order numbers from smallest or least to largest. Okay, and then what you do is you cross out your numbers to find out what's in the middle. All right, and we'll go over an example of that as well, the middle number. Okay, your mode. The most often, remember, I want you to remember, a mode is the most frequent number or the most often occurring number. The most, see, mode, most frequent number. And how do we figure that out? Well, again, you need to order your numbers from least to greatest to see which number occurs most often. Okay. And you probably hear Lucy, she's squeaking her toy here. So one thing to note too about the mode is that you can have more than one number that is the mode. So I could have, for example, I could have 3 that occurs, the number 3, you might see that 4 times in your data set. But you could also see the number 18, if that occurs in your data set 4 times as well. Both 3 and 18 would be the mode, okay? Your range, remember, a lot of times if you're in class, you see me like put my hands out from side to side, left to right. My range is going to be the difference That word difference should mean something. It means subtract. The difference between the largest and smallest number. And actually, I'm going to make this the word and. Some of you guys don't know, this is shorthand. And is also my ampersand, which is when I make that little symbol like that. So if you see that, that means and. Okay, how do you find your range? Again, you're going to order your numbers from least to greatest, from small to large, and difference means subtract the smallest number small number from the greatest number. Okay, so your biggest number goes here minus your smallest. Okay, you don't need to write that, but I just wanted to point that out. Okay, all right, so let's look at an example. We've got a list of 5 test scores: 60, 67, 73, 63, 67. Now, I'm gonna look at this data set here. What is the first thing I'm gonna do? Well, I could go about figuring out the mean. However, I think the best thing to do every single time you look at a data set is to put them in order. So when I do that, I like to cross them out just to make sure that I have all my numbers. So there's a double check. You're gonna go 60, okay. My next number is 63. Cross that number out. My next number is, I have 67. Now, because I have another 67, can I go ahead and just write down one 67, or do I need to write down both 67s? What do you think? If you said you need to write down both 67s, you would be correct, because each of those is a separate test score, and I need to make sure I incorporate every single person's test score in my data set. So it says I have 5 test scores, so I should, when I do it, I should have, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay, so now that I've ordered them, I can figure out my mean. So my mean is adding all the numbers up, plus 67 plus 73, and I'm going to divide it by the total number of numbers. So I have how many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should be dividing by 5. And when you do that, please, please, please make sure that when you add your numbers on the top right here, that you hit your equal sign first, okay, before you divide by 5 in your calculator. Because what it will do if you don't do that is give you a weird, funky number, and sometimes it will be bigger than an average. It'll probably be like in the hundreds. Depends on your data set. This particular mean is equal to 66. So hopefully you got that. All right, now the next thing is it's asking you to find the median. Well, when we're looking at the median, one of the things is you got to make sure that you are finding the center. So I'm going to use a different color here. When I cross out my middle, I'm physically looking for the middle, like the median. So when I cross them out, I make my hash marks point towards the middle. So then that way I don't get lost, but then I also truly find the middle. So my median in this case is 67. Okay, that's my middle number. Cool. All right, now looking at this, what's my mode? What does most mean? It means most frequent. So which one is our most frequent number? If I look at it, I think 67. Is it okay for our median, mode, mean to all equal 67? Yeah, actually it is. Sometimes that happens. So if you get the same number, don't worry about it. okay? Range, remember, I'm looking for the number, the difference between the largest and the smallest number. Now, I want you guys to notice something. I'm gonna erase my notes here, up here at the top. When I'm looking at these numbers right here, if I were to have gone, okay, here's my largest number, here's my smallest number, and I subtract those, what do I get? Well, I would get a range of 7. But if we are not putting them in order, I am forgetting about my 73 or any other number that may be actually lower than 60 if I had that in my data set. And so that's why you want to make sure you are going off of what you have ordered previously. So this right here, because now I'm doing 73 minus 60, which gives you 13, which is completely different than the possible 7 that I gave you up there, up at the top, right? What did I do here? 13, right there. All right, so please do not use anything other than your ordered numbers. Okay, what I'd like you to do is just take a minute, pause this video, and I want you to try to do the question number 2 on your own. Be very careful because there's also data points here. See this? I want you to make sure you're taking those numbers in addition to these numbers as well. Okay? All right, so go ahead, find your mean, median, and mode and range. Once you do that, then you can restart the video and check to see if you got it correct. So, all right, hopefully what you did when you solved this, if you're coming back to me, is you numbered your orders, or ordered your numbers. Oh my goodness, my words are not coming out today. So I should have, I'm gonna go ahead and figure out my mean at the same time. 0, 0, plus 1, where's my 1? Plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus I have a 3, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus 7, plus 7. Now, one thing you can do is make sure that you caught all your numbers, okay? So take your pen or pencil and say, I should have written down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which tells me I'm going to divide that all by 12 to get my mean, okay? But let's just double check. I wrote down all the numbers I needed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sorry! That's Lucy and Leo. They are having a good time. They're telling me that there's somebody outside walking, and usually it's a dog. Okay, hopefully we're done. Woof. All right. So with your mean, you should have gotten 3, okay? If you didn't get 3, come ask me in class what you did with your calculator, because this is really important for you to be able to figure out, okay? All right, if you look at your median, all right, I'm going to cross each of these out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These two numbers, right? How do I figure that out? Well, you're just gonna take the mean or the average of those two together. So you're gonna take 2 plus 3. What am I gonna divide it by? Yep, if you divide it by 2 because you have 2 pieces of data, you would be correct. And your answer is gonna be 2.5, okay? Perfectly acceptable to get a decimal, especially when it comes to medians, okay? Let's see, your mode. Which number or numbers occur most often? Well, in this data set, the number 2 happens 3 times, so 2 is your mode. And then lastly, your range, 7 minus 0 equals 7. If you got those answers, you're on the right track. Okay, so if you haven't done the homework assignment yet, go ahead and get started on that. If you have any other questions, please let me know. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.